are calling the same method, which is not a problem in the end, since this method just returns 1, but we are checking different scopes here. So we created a route. Now let's go to our user service, and here we will make a method isAdmin. With this request, I will copy this part. So I will return HTTP with headers. With the headers, we'll call the endpoint admin, and in the end, I will call successful. So if the response is successful, the user is admin. So I will make this short to JSON. Now let's go to our middleware, and here the condition is simple. If this user service is admin, let's go to the next request. Otherwise, we will throw authentication exception. We forgot the new here. Now let's try if this code works. So open a browser, refresh. This action is unauthorized. So we got another error, but it seems that that problem has passed. So let's go to the dashboard, not here, dashboard controller, and the problem is with the gate. So let's comment it for now. So we can see the data are showing. So we checked if the user is authenticated and also an admin. So now let's create the influencer scope. And let's do the same. So let's go to our user service, copy this code, is influencer, let's go to our kernel, add the influencer here, and influencer scope. Let's go to the admin scope to copy this code here, and let's go to our influencer scope now, paste it here, and the only thing that we will change is influencer here. Now let's go to our api.php, and we will add here scope influencer. Just to try if this works, I will add influencer here, and I expect this to fail. Let's refresh now. So it failed, and the response is unauthenticated. So the response is in our influencer scope is this exception here. So there's a response from isInfluencer is not successful. We now have a problem with the gates. So if we request to get all the users, we get this action is unauthorized. So how do we solve this problem? Let's go to the user controller. Let's remove this unused namespaces, and we need to fix the gates. So to fix it is really simple. we have to go to our user service, and here we will add a new method, allows, and this will have two parameters. One is action, the other is route. This will represent these two values. One is ability, one is argument. So let's ability and arguments. I spelled wrongly ability. It's with one L. So now we will cut this part and return it here. And we will change view and users with ability here and arguments. And now let's go to admin scope and let's copy this part and let's go to the user controller and paste it here. So now we get the user service here, and now we will call directly the user service. This user service allows view users. So what I did right now is basically the same as before. So if I go and send a request again, it will return this action is unauthorized. So the change that we will make is in this allows function. We need to authorize it for a specific user. So we need to use it here for user, and the user that we want to get is the user from the API request. So this will work the same, because in our auth service provider, the user that gets here is not the user that we call in the other microservice. So we have to specify it directly like this. Let me call again now. And now we are getting the users. So this is how we can change all the gates. From gate authorize, we will use it directly like this. So I will do it for all controllers. So I will pause the video now. Now we want to move the user controller to the user microservice. So first let's create the controller, PHP artisan make controller user controller. And the first method that we want to move is this index method. So we will return all the users paginated. So let's go to the user controller and add here index. And we will return user all. No, paginated. Let's also add it to our API.php. And here we need to add an API resource to users, and the controller will be user controller. Let's remove also the brackets. So we created the API resource. So what is left is to return it here. So let's go to the user service and we will add another method, all, and this will return all the users. We will return an HTTP request to the users and we will return it as JSON. And in the user controller, let's replace this part, return this user service all. Let's see it on HTTP. So we got the response. So these are all the users paginated, but the problem that I see right now is that the format is not the same. That's why we use the user resource here, because it formats it in a different way. So for that I will create a resource here and I will call it paginated resource. So the only reason that we need this paginated resource is just to format the paginated users here. So paginated resource collection and user. So this will change the format. So if we go to our HTTP and call it again, we can see that the format is changed. We have meta and links and data. So this is the way it should return the data. We have only one last thing to change, which is the page. So we need to send also the page. So we will add a request here and we need to pass request input page here. So let's go to the all function. We need a page here and we'll add a question mark here. Page equals to this page. So let's try it. So we imported the wrong request, so let's remove it and it should be illuminate HTTP request. And also we need to set the default value to 1 here if for some reason the page is not set. Let's try it again. So we can see that the request is successful and current page is 1. Let's change it to 2 or 3. Let's see it. Current page is 3. So the pagination is working.